All right. Let's get started. Greetings, Omar, Jakimla. Greetings. Where you from? Drop in the chat where you from. Say hello and introduce yourself. Where you from? I have a really quick channeled message for people to escape the matrix, the 3D matrix, which is causing a lot of chaos and turbulence right now. Greetings. Oh, thank you for sending me likes. I appreciate y'all so much for sharing the videos and our interactions too. If you know somebody might be interested, invite them. Oh, you're in St. Louis. Ashe, I got some family out there. That's beautiful. Such a deeply spiritual place. When you're tapping into the energy of St. Louis, it's, yeah, a very powerful place. Oh, thank you about my hair. I just needed something easy today, so yeah. Thanks. I wasn't, that's one of those ego things. I used to be so egotistical about my hair, and every string needed to be laid. And it's amazing that when I have wake up hair, basically, people are like, I like your hair. And it's just, it shows me that, okay, you know, we don't have to be perfect. When we show up, every piece doesn't have to be laid, you know, every edge is kind of like that edge thing. Greetings, Rallo. I see so many people. Where y'all tuning in from? We got anybody here from, let me see, Texas. Texas up in here. I can feel you. Who from Texas in here? I love to use my third eye, play a little bit with it. But somebody's here from Texas. I'm picking up on your energy. I say to you. DC. That's dope. 202 2020 vision. I was actually born in Fort Belvoir, Alexandria, Virginia, which is not far from DC. And so I lived there for a few years too. I love the culture in DC. If you've never been there, like, it's just an experience I think everybody should have. Oh, that's so sweet. I receive it. It's the Venus energy, right? It'd be the energy more so than the physical attributes, even when we don't know sometimes. Greetings to everybody. Alex, yes. So, the Oracle, if you do not know, thank you for joining me. I wanted to take a few minutes to talk about some of the things that I'm discovering and shadow work and quick ways that you can pull yourself out of the 3D matrix and a lot of the suffering and pain and trauma that it causes. And so, yeah, so I'm Camson the Oracle. I'm a Akashic record reader, psychic intuitive medium. And after several near-death experiences, my gifts amplified. And so I've been committed to using my gifts to help other people ever since then. And so, yes, my biggest following is on YouTube because that's where it all began. So, yes, I wanted to jump on here and share with y'all some really simple use you can do that will help you navigate some of the chaos that you may or may not be experiencing. You may just be observing chaos happening around of us is happening in the inside, right? We feel the internal conflict in the inside. And so I want to make it make sense energetically what's happening right now. So first, I want to say the podcast went so good last night. We talked about this, and I gave out some hacks for the podcast and some of the things that we do that have been really helpful for us. So I'm going to share a little bit about that. And I'm going to try to make it quick, okay? Because I can get on here and be on here for 2 hours because I'm just such a lover of people and connecting. And I know what it feels like to be on the other end of somebody that's connecting with your heart and your spirit and seeing you and like answering a question that you hadn't even asked them. That's so beautiful when that happens. That's how spirit communicates, right? And so, yes, so today, according to astrology in the Mayan calendar, I kind of missed it by a few hours. Well, actually, 40 minutes ago, Okay, the astrology for today was white galactic wizard energy. And if you don't know anything about the Mayans, that's okay. It just basically means that they counted the number of moons per year, and that's how they created their calendar system. And that's significant and important because the way the calendar system has been changed and manipulated has placed us in an artificial time experience. So time and space is not natural anymore, which is why a lot of us circadian rhythm is off. We're sleeping when we're usually supposed to be woke. We're woke when we probably should be sleeping. You know this, and sometimes it's difficult to change it. These are some of the symptoms of being raised in a civilization that isn't acknowledging time in its natural state of being. And it would be similar to calling summer winter. And so, like, we are all on the schedule. We're planting crops in the winter, but we're really supposed to plant them in the summer. But because of the changes in the calendar manipulation, we don't know which is which. And the crops will not bring a yield because you have been deceived, and you're just unaware of the truth about the times and the seasons and the cycles. So I wanted to share that white galactic wizard is my galactic signature. This is something really cool that you can use to study to get to know your soul, you outside of the human experience. Ultimately, escaping the matrix is discovering these divine aspects of who you are. And this is how you learn what your purpose is in life, what some of the karmic energies that you are experiencing and the lessons that you're meant to learn, what tools you have been given spiritually to use here. So being able to identify that is something that we teach in our courses. That's almost pretty much in every course that we have, because that's one of the biggest elements to being able to figure out why things happen to you, why you were born with the parents that you were born with, why you maybe moved around a lot as a kid. So many whys that we have, and it's difficult to get answers that resonate with the heart. And because of the internet now, and anybody can be a teacher now, it's saturated. And so it sometimes does make it more difficult to find a path that resonates with you that you can work through, because there's so much to choose from. And that can be overwhelming. You don't want to make a mistake on your journey as you begin to awaken and create your own spiritual journey and path to being able to self-realize, which is really get to know thyself, get to know the divinity within you, getting to know the goddess that's inside of you, and your divine identity, which is called the I divinity. And this is that aspect of you that has already went through everything you're going through and has figured out, oh, okay, thank you for that. And this is the part of you that exists in your highest potential. So a lot of times the person that we're desiring to become and be, we're already that person. It's just waiting to be unlocked. And we just need the keys to be able to unlock this higher potential inside of us. A lot of us can feel that potential right now, but it almost seems difficult to make decisions that align with your aspirations, because maybe you are feeling the pressure, like many others are, including me, to change and to refine and to release things that aren't serving you, and to connect with energy and people who will support you in communities and things like that. Like, this is not trendy and popular. It's catching on, but this is when you really are like, you know what? I need to figure out what I'm here to do. What is my purpose in life, right? And so just asking that one question begins to unlock the 3D matrix so that you can escape what causes human suffering. And the base of what causes human suffering is the fear that has been embedded in us. You could be a descendant of someone who is African American. You could be a descendant of someone who's Native American. And some of the things that they went through, Irish, any culture on the planet. And so what happens is that the cultural collective energy of whatever your lineage has experienced, if you are awakening, you're becoming more aware and conscious that, oh, okay, I'm the one that's chosen to clear some of these generational curses, in which we would call them, or to be the first person in my family to accomplish something other than finishing college. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's beautiful, but like accomplishing something spiritual in your lineage. And so there are some signs that show you that you're the person who has a soul contract and has chosen to do this. And some of those signs are you begin to question everything to figure out what beliefs do I really align with in my heart. And do I still believe the things that I was raised to believe? And so ultimately, it is our subconscious patterns and programs that is controlling our reality, but it bypasses the conscious mind. And this is why commercials and planting subliminal messages in movies and songs and things like that has been used so much. And what happens is because there is several different spiritual kingdoms that we are having this existence with at the same time, what happens is as you begin to break free from the prison planet energy of these force hell loops. And so what happens is your own mind begins to torture you from the inside out. You begin to doubt most of your decisions. You lack clarity. You begin to feel not motivated and inspired. You may begin to procrastinate. You may find yourself not wanting to be vulnerable with people because maybe you've been hurt and betrayed a lot, and so you don't feel safe to do that anymore. So you kind of just shut down and go numb. And all of these things are an impact of trauma. And no matter how big or how small, it doesn't matter. The point is, anytime a basic human need is not being met when we are children, that creates the pattern and it molds us and conditions us. And so our adult relationships are a reflection of the shadow subconscious patterns and subliminal messages that we downloaded and received. And so right now on the planet, we're being challenged to go through those beliefs and those values again to see what truly resonates with me, because what resonated with me last year may not this year. And as we are asking these questions and discovering our authentic selves, this is how we break the grid of the 3D matrix that causes suffering, separation, and division. And we are literally in civil war with ourselves, and we are in battle between the head and the heart. And it becomes really difficult to tell how to trust the heart when the logic mind is not reasoning and telling you something else. And spirit oftentimes is not showing up logically. A lot of times spirit is actually the thing that probably makes the least logical sense. And a great example of that would be I wanted to be a nurse, and I was so committed to that. But there was a much bigger plan for me to heal in different ways. And at the time, I had no idea that becoming a nurse would have connected me to a future experience of maybe being the person who was administering something that could potentially cause health issues later on in people's lives. And so that plan was disturbed. And I began to be ill myself, end up in the hospital about 8 to 9 months out of the year. I spent at least 15 to 20 years in the hospital this much. And in the process of me having surgeries and many other things, I had what people would call near-death experiences. And when you have a near-death experience, you actually get an opportunity to decide if you want to continue in this incarnation physically, or are you ready to go? And this is why when people are finally ready to go, or they give up and whatever's happening with them, we will transition from the physical body. Once your will is like, okay, I'm done. I've done enough. It's time to go. And this is how it happens. But the conversation that I had with death was interesting because I chose to stay here. And I dealt with depression, anxiety, panic attacks, and suicidal thoughts throughout most of my life because of some of the circumstances that I experienced as a child that I'm still healing now. So if you are feeling that internal conflict between the head and the heart, that's beautiful because you're discovering that some of the decisions that you make, they attract situations, people, places, and things that aren't in alignment with your spiritual heart, your spiritual I divinity, this part of you. And a lot of times what happens is because we may or may not understand frequency, energy, and vibration, we may not know that the first thought that we have is the thought that is no longer serving us. It's negative and it's based on some of our hurts and our deep core wounds that we had from children. And so this is when your I divine self or higher self will start communicating with you through time and space, which is represented by the white galactic wizard, my frequency. So when I dream and travel and do visions, and when I check in with humanity as a collective to see what lessons are we learning, what potential can we reach together, and how can we do it. When I'm doing that, I'm tapping into something that exists outside of linear time. And so this allows me to have conversations with civilizations that are no longer within this dimension existing, including civilizations like Atlantis, Lemuria. A lot of us have these things in our lives that are connections to these civilizations that ended. And it comes through in simple ways, and it's to assist you to figure out who you are. And so in the beginning, for me, the connection to Atlantis was so strong because I just had a resonance with crystals my whole life. Even before I really began to study metaphysics, there was a connection with crystals. So I'm going to show you some of my favorite crystals, tell you how I use them, and give you some tips on what you can do to be able to break through this. And before I do that, I want to say this. Your life right now is a reflection of the conditioning that program your subconscious mind based on your experiences. Once you bring the mindfulness into your life and begin to work with your personal trauma, your fears, and your personal demons, that is something called shadow work. And this is when you begin tapping into the energy of the repressed emotions and the experiences and the grief maybe that you are holding because you never really had time or was properly taught how to process these emotions. And because we are spiritual beings, we also have a emotional body, not just a physical body. And the emotional body is so hurt and weakened by these experiences, and maybe you are, not sure what to do next or what path is going to resonate with you. And so sometimes we just won't make any decision, and we'll find ourselves doing the 3D matrix activity thing, going to work, going to school, eating, sleeping, maybe working out in between, meeting up with friends every now and again, and family, and that's pretty much it. And when you're living this way, it's more difficult for you to connect to your life's purpose, because a lot of your time is being committed to providing for the society that we are in of capitalism, right? And so as we are healing as a collective, we're integrating with these shadow aspects. So everything that has been hidden in the shadows on a collective level, thank you for that. I appreciate y'all. If this is resonating, I appreciate that so much. If you would like this and the soccer balls, I'm not sure what they mean, but I appreciate it. Because it's all about sacred energy exchange, right? And somebody is sharing something with you that touches your heart, and so you share something with them back. This is how we heal and heal the planet. And so as you are learning these things about yourself, you might discover that you are highly narcissistic. You have a lot of narcissistic traits. I have narcissistic traits. And instead of trying to get rid of the traits because it bothered me so much and actually hurt my feelings and broke my heart, to discover that I had narcissistic traits more than I would like to admit. But we live in a narcissistic society. And we now have cameras where we can see ourselves as we're doing things. We once didn't have that. So it was a level of vulnerability that was in our day-to-day, and so you didn't have edits and filters and all the stuff that we have now. So basically what I'm saying is technology is useful, but it also helps us to hide who we really are and hide certain things about us. And so it's okay to use them, but make sure that they're not using you, in the words of Prince. Prince talked about technology, and he gave a warning many years ago to make sure it's not using you, that you're using it. So with that being said, shadow work is something that a lot of people are discovering and wanted to learn more about. So we teach, this is what we teach. And I go into some of the most painful experiences that I have ever had. And I use many different healing modalities like meditation, working with crystals, breath work, stretching, yoga, somatic dancing, mirror affirmations, all of these different things so that I can become more one with my full self and be able to be more authentic and integrated and not feel like some parts of me are so dark I have to hide them and nobody can ever know. And being able to own those parts of me is just part of my program. It's not who I am. Once you become aware of your patterns, then you can begin changing your beliefs and observing your thoughts, and you can choose thoughts that feel good to your heart instead of allowing thoughts to ruminate in your mind that are toxic and has this negative inner critical dialogue. We all have it. Successful people are people who are able to hear the critical dialogue, feel the fear, but still make decisions that's in alignment with where they know they belong. And, so as much as we can talk about certain celebrities and stars and stuff, there's a lot of discipline that it takes to do what they do. And a lot of those movies and shows and songs became something that really spoke to us as a people. And so there's just this level of appreciation you begin to have for everything. On the other side of the shadow work is you discovering the energy, the archetypal energy that's a part of the why, right? And you can discover the point of attraction, why you might attract people who are emotionally unavailable as partners, or why you might attract co-workers and friends or business partners where you get stuck in a power struggle phase with them, or it seems like it's some type of unfinished karmic business that starts to play out and you can feel like you lack the ability to control what's happening. And the more we feel like we lack control over the way our life is shaping, the more we feel like a victim to life. And so it's difficult to be grateful for life when you feel like life has this area where it's mistreating you. And this is why shadow work helps to heal that, and you learn how to see divinity in every single thing. And so really quick on the podcast, we did an interactive podcast last night, which is what we do every month. And you can join us if you want to. All you have to do is go to the website. The link is in the bio. And we talk about these things, and I listen and I go back and forth with people as to some of the deeper aspects of some of the traumas and triggers that they have, and be able to connect with the lessons in those. And once you get the lesson from it, then you're like, I'm getting my power back, because now I attract people who are emotionally unavailable, because this is what I was used to growing up. It's familiar for me. And my beliefs and the thoughts that I think about on autopilot attract more of that, because I'm not mindfully choosing my thoughts, right? I'm not isolating the thoughts that are going to inspire me and ruminating on the inspirational thoughts and positive thoughts, right? And what happens due to trauma, it gets more difficult to have the positive thoughts towards yourself. So if you've been doing that, you don't have to feel bad about that or ashamed. We're all experiencing that if we are going through the journey of awakening. And that's because we are the microcosm of the macrocosm. We are literally stars, have the exact same composite of a star. That's major within itself. We all come from the earth and return to the earth. That's major within itself. We all have a galactic origin. Some would call it the heavens, something that's within the spirit realm before you came here. All of these things reveal to you how powerful of a soul, a being you are, despite what may be showing up in life. And the 3D matrix, what it does, it assigns NPCs. These are people who may play a role in this experience just for you to learn certain lessons that you agreed to in your soul contract. And once you know why you are being triggered and how to work with those triggers, is a strategy that we've been sharing. We just started really sharing yesterday doing the podcast. We're going to go deeper into this, but it's called PRP. And it's a positive reframe practice. So when you are triggered, your shadow self, your fears, your demons, right? These are the things that we fear facing. right? These energies that are just too scary to us to deal with and see. And so we'll compartmentalize those parts of ourselves and push it back. And oftentimes people don't want to be around you if you reveal some of the, less, some of the things about you maybe the society has programmed us to feel ashamed about, right? And this is why mental health now all of a sudden is like a huge topic. And there are people who are, doing things they've never done before to help their mental health. This is all so beautiful. So the pandemic that happened, it was a reset for us. And it was an opportunity for us to be still long enough to connect back with nature and spirit and connect back with our life force energy that is ultimately what's assisting us through this life. So now that I explained some of that, I'm going to give you a tidbit that you can use as we're coming into this energy so that some of the self-sabotage that happens, you can be more aware of it and you can begin to reprogram yourself. And once you do this, you will meet the people in the 3D matrix, right, who are almost like the antagonists to what you're trying to do. And just think about Neo. If Morpheus wouldn't have ever taught Neo the true meaning, the true reason behind the things that occur, Neo would have continued to be stuck in the program of what we think is living in life, but it's really living life, being asleep and numb and afraid to open up, right? And a lot of times doing shadow work, once you really start doing shadow work, any area where your confidence and self-esteem has not been nurtured enough, you become hyper aware of it. And it's so obvious you can't ignore it anymore, right? And so you learn how to embrace and love and be compassionate and patient with yourself. And you'll no longer need people outside of you to do it because you're meeting that need for yourself. So that's an explanation of shadow work in the briefest way that I can explain it. Now, let me show you what I've been doing, because the energy of today, we are aligned with the galactic center today. And the galactic center, the positioning of the sun, aligning with the galactic center, right? So what I'm saying is in 1776, when the Declaration was created of Independence, it was under very similar energy that we're in right now, which means what you put in paper, in writing, the words that you are speaking, the actions you are taking, the decisions that you are making, and the thoughts that you think the most are going to anchor themselves into your life in the universe per the law of attraction, the laws of the universe. It's just going to send you more of that. So if you are anchoring yourself and practicing non-judgment to anything or anyone, and being able to be able to see divinity in your own trials and tribulations, when you begin doing that and you have a positive reframe around your perception of what's happening in your life, you find yourself feeling better about life and more positive, more inspired, more motivated, and you will become more passionate, and you will attract your teachers. You will attract to you the tools that you need to get to the next step. You will attract people who want to collab with you and be a part of that, and maybe even want nothing in return. That is absolutely possible, and I'm proof that that's possible. And so I want to share with you some of the things that we have been using that are really, really helpful. So one of the main wands is this crystal. This crystal is called Obsidian. And this Obsidian crystal was also, it's like this on both sides. This Obsidian crystal is so powerful. It's actually created by volcanoes. And Mesoamericans use this crystal to assist them on shamanic journeys, astral travels, we would call lucid dreaming, being able to go into the spirit realm to gather information. And if you think about it, in ancient civilizations, the ability to do these things could mean whether or not a tribe survives or it doesn't, or they die out. And you're able to go into the spiritual kingdom using obsidian, and because of its ability to reflect back to you, the universe also will begin to reflect more back to you. And anything negative that's been getting in the way and blocking, you could be having a difficulty remembering your dreams. This is something else the 3D matrix does, because our subconscious mind does a lot of healing for us while we're sleeping. But a lot of people tell me when I do readings for them, like I'm having a difficult time recalling my dreams, or I'm not dreaming at all, completely unaware, and that's not normal. To not be able to dream for an extended period of time. And so you can actually practice this and hone in being able to be more lucid in your dreams while you're sleeping, and experience spiritual information and energies that do not exist in this physical 3D density, which is a lower density. It's a lower dimension. Think about paper, 1D. You can fold the paper up, put it into a shape. It's 2-dimensional now, right? So we're existing in a 3-dimensional realm, and the 5-dimensional realm is ultimately the energy that's coming through, and it's drawing us up to have higher consciousness. And the planet ultimately heals as we heal ourselves, because we are all quantum entangled if we have life force energy and a soul inside of us. Because some are just here to be a part of the simulated experience for you to get to the next level. So Obsidian is so powerful. We have blogs about this. If you're new to learning about crystals, you can read all about it in the blogs on our website. I give you tips and many different ways to use it. One of my personal favorites, I have been traveling back to my childhood when I place this under my pillow now. And a lot of the things that I forgot about, and it was affecting me in my life, it was affecting what I attract, and it's no longer in alignment with my highest purpose, right? And so this has been assisting me, and the energy that was attached to those negative experiences I'm revisiting is being transmuted into something beautiful, which is why I'm sitting in front of you now, sharing these things as to how to see through the simulation, see through the reality, see through what is in front of you, and know that seeing is not believing. And what we see oftentimes is just an illusion. It's not really it's not really what you're perceiving it to be, but it's almost like it's a filter. And so things could be happening to you in your life, and you perceive it to be something that is destroying you. And once you work with beautiful gems like this that Mother Earth creates, right? And you connect with Mother Earth, and you connect with the ancient civilizations that use these as well. And so you have support, even if you're not really into honoring your ancestors right now, or maybe you don't know your lineage, right? And so this helps you to connect with those things. So we have these available for you, and that helps with that. And that's just the briefest synopsis I can give, but it's so much more information that you can use this for. If I would have had this back when I was going through some of the worst chaos, it would have made such a difference in my life. But better late than never, right? Now, the next crystal is selenite, and I know a lot of y'all probably have already heard of selenite. Look at this beautiful selenite. Oh my goodness, look at that. The visual, the color, the soothing calmness that it is emitted from this, you can even feel it just looking at it through a screen, right? And the selenite stone is the stone of the healers. And this stone can transmute physical illnesses, mental illnesses, and many other things. And when I do work with people, I have had people who had anxiety, and the selenite stone would soothe their nervous system and calm them down. And so this is very powerful. And the symbol that you see on there, that's called a Kamsa or Hamsa, sometimes Kamesh. And this is a symbol that you probably will be seeing more and more often, also called the Hand of Fatima. This symbol is for protection, especially spiritual protection. And so these two together combines the white light energy and the, wow, that's cool, and the dark energy of the shadow realm, right? And so the more we do this work, the more the darkness that we see in the world will also begin to transform, which is what's happening now. The next one is the citrine crystal, and we have citrine crystal pendants. This is one of our new products. This is a citrine crystal pendant. Citrine crystal is very special because it is one of the only crystals that never needs to be charged, much like the selenite. And they can also be used to clear energy from other crystals, rooms, situations. You could have an argument in a room. You want to clear out the energy in the room. All of these can be used to help with that. And so the citrine not only absorbs negative energy, but it creates more positive energy. And because it's the color of the sun, it represents the aspect of life. Without the sun, there is no life. This crystal holds that energy. It's in the shape of a Merkaba, and the Merkaba is just basically the spirit and the soul and the body. In ancient Kemet, it's called the Kaaba, right? And so the Ka is the life force, right? And the Ba is the spirit. Many different names: Chi, Prana, Kundalini energy. This is where we get our willpower, our passion, and our confidence, and we get the ability to break through some of the challenges and some of the limitations that maybe we're discovering in our lives that's blocking us from living our best life and experiencing the things that we truly desire to experience. You can actually create your own reality. And this is why we named the business New Verse, because we're writing new verses in the song our soul came to sing. And the beautiful thing about this is you can also use this for your divination, right? And so even if you're new to it, it's fine. We have blogs where I'm teaching about this, and I have videos and classes where I teach about this. They are all available in our vault, which is on Patreon. And it's just $1 and up, a donation to us to be able to continue doing this. And I teach you how to get a yes, how to get a no. I use this in the grocery store. A lot of food had been sitting up on the barges. And so some of us get stomach aches when we eat stuff maybe we've been eating and never had an issue with it. And so if you're not quite sure what to eat, a pendulum is basically an item that is a communicator of answers, and it transmits answers. And the answers bypass all of this stuff that we use to put filters and give meanings to things that it may or may not mean. This will let you know. So it's really good for people who have a hard time making decisions. I can relate. It's so difficult sometimes to make certain decisions because sometimes I'm fearful of making a mistake. And that's connected to the inner child wounds. And if you would like to learn about your inner child wounds and see which one you're carrying, once you know that there's a crack in the foundation, you can begin healing it. And for a lot of us, we're healing ourselves. We're just not quite sure how. So this can help you get your yes and no answer as to the work that you're doing on yourself. So a simple thing that you can do is go to Patreon. The link is also in the bio, and join and watch and learn how to use it. It's cool because I was in the grocery store using it today. I'm going to upload that later, but I haven't had any digestive issues since I've been doing this. And the beauty is this is much like Palo Santo or sage, as it will absorb negative energy as well. So making citrine crystal water helps to infuse the energy of positivity in the sun into your physical body, which helps you to also see through some of the 3D matrix perceptions, illusions created to keep us suffering. And as long as we are suffering, and a lot of us are just lonely or feeling disconnected or just not fulfilled. And even when you reach certain goals, you're like, okay, I thought when I made this much money, I would be fulfilled. I thought when I finally got married, I would be fulfilled. I thought once I got this job, I would be fulfilled. I thought once I graduated and got this degree, I would be fulfilled. And you reach this next level and you're like, but I don't feel different. And it's because we've been doing things in reverse. And so you create the feeling and the vision first. And you create from that space by trusting the process and taking the steps necessary to reprogram your subconscious mind so that it's working with you instead of against you. So that the ego is actually not blocking you anymore, but the ego becomes an ally. And you get to know your wounded inner child self. so much power in just doing these simple things. This has basically been a masterclass of its own. So you could imagine what a full masterclass and the courses are like. So these are the main things that I'm teaching. And for those of you who may love crystals as much as I do as well, you get discounts on these items when you join our chakra camps or the 3D Matrix Detox course. You will get discounts just for joining to assist you on these products. And one of my favorites is the Labradorite crystal. It's so amazing what Mama Earth, the gems that she had, many civilizations used, and they accomplished such great things that we still are exploring now. We thought we was the first ones with computers. We were not, right? And so this crystal Labradorite has been used by many ancient cultures as well. Egypt, the Mayans, really pretty much every culture that I have studied used Labradorite. And show you the back of it. So we have some of these. They're necklaces, and you can wear these to connect with this energy. If this energy is soothing to you, look at that. It's so many beautiful things that you can just allow your eyes to see beauty in something. We need that to be able to deal with what's happening in life. And so this energy is soothing and calming. Blue represents the throat chakra. So this helps you to speak your truth, to connect with your truth, and ultimately be able to create your life from connecting with your truth, which is represented by the vortex of the throat chakra. This is also connected to Sirius. If you know about Bobby Hemmett, Sirius A, Sirius B, within the Orion star system, ancient Egyptian. So when you start working with Labradorite, if you are a starseed, it's taking you to the next level. Like, it's almost like as soon as you put it on, you're like, wow, like, you mean to tell me I had tools and waiting to connect with me? So this is, really simple things that you can use. And so those necklaces are so powerful, and they help you to be able to see the spiritual reasons for some of the experiences that you're having. So we have a few of those left over. And again, we're doing a Chocolate City Christmas to honor Dr. Blind, who's the author of The Functionary. Bobby Hemmett talked about The Functionary book often. And I was so excited to be able to meditate and visualize me connecting with Dr. Blind. And it happened just as I visualized it. I scripted it. You see the videos and there's like 1 million views. And they're like, how I scripted my life and conjured this. And I make very few of those videos. And maybe I should make more of them. Maybe you all want to hear more about that and how I do it. But in the course, this is what I teach. Everything is to connect you to the deeper parts of yourself so that you can discover your life purpose, who you are, why you are, and what you are missing to get to the next level in life, right? And you just become a much more loving person towards your own limitations, weaknesses, flaws, and weakness, things people maybe made you feel ashamed of. So if you got anger issues, these crystals help with anger issues so much. If you need courage for some of the things that you would like to do, these crystals help to create more courage. We have a tiger's eye pendulum. Tiger's eye is all about courage. Thank you for the hearts and the love. That's so beautiful. Solar plexus, yellow hearts. Thank you, King Yourself Enterprise. Ashe. Oh, yes, Nicole, Goddess, I do have a YouTube. It's just titled under my name, Kamsen. And if you type that in, just like it's spelled here, you can find me on YouTube. You love the Labradorite? Oh, yeah. Next level. I sleep with these crystals. And, the 3D Matrix blocks manifestation of people who actually have an investment to make in this world that is not going to support the systems that created so much suffering and strife. And ultimately, most of the power structures, we are seeing how dark it really is and how they thrive in the parasitic way humanity has been used. And so coming into 2023, there are going to be a lot of major changes. And when you know the dates and when to pay attention to certain things, it's nothing in the world that you can't accomplish when you know who you are, the energy that is the frequency of your soul, your purpose, the divine timing. Like it's you can accomplish so much. I was homeless and pregnant, right? And homeless. I was abandoned and neglected. I've been abused, molested. I'm a narcissist relationship survivor. So many of these things. And again, I've had 15 surgeries and I'm still here. And most people don't even think I'm my age. And it's just the perspective and the way that I am able to see through what we would call problems. Problems are portals to a higher potential. They are always portals to a higher potential. But the 3D matrix is constantly working so that you can't connect with that. Because if you connect with that, there are a lot of things that you thought you needed outside of you to feel better about yourself that you won't need anymore. And you won't need Balenciaga. You won't need any Gucci. And you'll just become a designer soul. And like, wow, actually, I want to create my own line, And you get into just having a new experience, right? So yes, there are warnings before beginning shadow work so that you're prepared to know what to expect. That's included in the course. So the 3D Matrix Detox course is on sale. We marked it all the way down because I wanted to be able to give this to you all. And even if it's something that you feel like somebody that might connect with it, share it with them as well. But yes, we have all of these beautiful things. We have The Functionary, which is a book that is no longer in print that you can actually pre-order on our website. And it's so powerful. If you don't know anything about any of that, just scroll back when we're done, watch some videos and you'll see. But ultimately, I'm a truth seeker and I strive to be in truth, love, and authenticity and integrity with everything that I do. So this is who I am, what I got going on, and the courses. I want to see y'all over there. We will be there every step of the way, encouraging you. If you have questions, we got you covered. And you're in a private VIP group with an exclusive select people on the planet who are on this journey of healing themselves as well. Just being in the company of like-minded people alone, you find your voice, you find your place in the world, and you feel more supported. And if people in your physical reality don't really understand you or what you're doing or why, they may even feel a way about it, you got support. And you're like, that's okay. I'm connecting with communities who get it. And you don't have to try to have conversations about, why chemicals are being sprayed in the air and how it's impacting our health. And why foods are being genetically modified, and how it's impacting us. Sometimes those conversations are too much for people who are still in the false time-space womb matrix. And basically, they're under the illusion of the blue pill. And waking up is too painful for some people right now. This just may not be the divine timing for them to discover these truths. And oftentimes the truth is raw and it's stranger than fiction. That's just what it is, right? And so if you're not in resistance to this and you're opening your heart to be led, everything that you need, you attract it. You don't have to force it. You don't have to manipulate, and you'll find yourself at peace because you're like, oh my goodness, I know how to attract the things in my life that support my soul so that I can do what I came here to do, right? And you do all of that without any support. And so I started this whole business with $0, no support. I came from absolutely nothing. And I believe in this so much and have touched the lives of people on almost every continent. So read some of the testimonials and just see how you feel when you connect. Plenty of stuff that you can binge watch for free. We did free master classes for 2 years, almost every single week, sharing many metaphysical ways of healing yourself and being able to connect with your I divinity. So that's it. I enjoyed this so much. I'm going to get off of here now. We have new music as well, carrying this energy for people desiring to have a higher vibrational experience, because music right now, I get depressed sometimes from listening to what's on the radio. it's really sad. And a lot of people are hopeless and lost souls and not quite sure what to do. And companies make money off of us not knowing who we are, right? Just imagine if just 10% of the people who are streaming on our radios had this higher consciousness and refused to trade their time for money that's attached ultimately to blood and suffering and crime. Like this is where we are, and you have to choose who you are, red pill or blue pill. Who do I want to be? So yes, so the chakra course is on sale. You get all 3 chakras working, starting with the root, the sacral, and the solar plexus. If it's new, that's okay. Introductory videos, I'm going to walk you through it. And basically every single day on your journey, you will get guidance. You will have tools, exercises to do, and the grieving ceremony that we have in this course. That alone, let's just face it, we are losing people that we love. They're transitioning. Some of us maybe are watching people get ready to transition, and you can feel it. And having a support system and having a way to process that loss is so important. And not just physical death, but death of relationships and death of jobs and going no contact with certain people you discovered is just not your highest your highest potential to connect with certain people. So ending friendships, ending careers, and starting over again. Death of anything in any way. And so we've been programmed to see death as something so negative. And that's why Avatar came out. It's like no coincidence, right? All of the movies that came out, they represent a spiritual frequency of what's happening. And those with a third eye open to see can connect with that. But it takes practice. And a lot of us are extraordinarily gifted, but we don't have clarity, direction, support, and the tools to unlock the keys, to unleash this beautiful shit inside of you that you didn't even know was in there. And oftentimes the people who were mistreated and treated as inferior and bullied and outcast and black sheep have very, very special things inside of them. In the 3D matrix, it's like, I cannot let this person right here feel loved from the inside out, because it's going to destroy the fear factor that we're creating and using to control the masses. And so these are simple things that you'll be able to do to break through the matrix. All right, y'all. So I'm going to get off here. I have a very strict routine that I adhere to make sure I'm getting proper sleep as much as possible, so that I'm teaching from a space of being truly connected with myself and self-care and self-love. So I'm going to slide off here. This was something that I wanted to give as an offering to dedicate some of my energy and time to other people. So go to newverselive.com and keep an eye out, because I have my first stand-up comedy that I'm doing from this space, talking about my near-death experiences, what I saw, what hell really is, what heaven really was. Just so many things. I'm getting into sex and how we can begin having sacred healing during sex, and it's not just a physical activity. I'll be sharing a lot of light codes for men as to things that they can do to heal with their phallus, and working with that energy to create the life they desire in their reality, when to hold their seed so that they have the energy and strength and passion to visualize and create a new reality, the power of the feminine body that's able to attract magnetically things. Like women, we create human beings. That's so powerful and so beautiful. But if we can do that, like what else can we do when we tap in? So that's what we got going on, y'all. Yes, so sending y'all many, many blessings. And check out the new music. It's on Mighty Networks. As soon as you join the live interactive podcast, you get the music too. So that's coming up too. We got a lot of huge announcements coming up, exciting things. I would love to see y'all along for the journey. I know it can get lonely in this world once you awaken and you have a community. Just find the one that resonates with you. If not with us, connect with someone, okay? We're not meant to be alone and in hermit mode throughout a whole awakening, right? It's just supposed to be a part of the process. You're meant to shine, and you're meant to be seen and to be heard. And you have something to invest into this world, to leave it better than it was when you came here. I believe in you. I know that it is possible. You would not be watching this if it wasn't. So I'm going to get off And for those of you who might know, I love to end my conversations, words of power, with, man, your third eye has just been kissed. Peace. One love.